Well, Mason, 3 or 4 practices in the books. Just what has it been like so far this week?
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Just got out of practice, ran late. And competitive nature is up there. We played today. People don't like losing. We ended up winning, and Skins wanted to play after practice, so we played a little bit. We ran them off the floor, but the competitive nature is there.
Anything unexpected so far from what you were thinking coming in?
The running. They upped the running on us a little bit, but I'm in shape. I feel like I'm in the best shape I've been ever in my life. Getting stronger, and the environment is also it's a little different. Just the guys love each other. We always with each other. We love spending time with each other, going out. The other day, just a couple of the guys, me and like 4 other guys, went to go get something to eat, and we just had a good time.
When did you get to Lexington? Because I feel like you were one of the earlier arrivals.
Yeah, I've been here for a while. I came up here April 30th.
Okay.
April 30th. I've been in here daily, so I've been loving Lexington so far.
Yeah, what have been your impressions so far? And do people recognize you right away? Well, what's it been like with fans out there?
Yeah, people. It took them a while. But yeah, people have been recognizing me a little bit, especially when I'm with the guys.
Isn't that week where you show up for your official visit, and then the conversations after the fact? Maybe Dad joins, maybe he doesn't. Just what was that like for you as you're trying to navigate your own individual recruiting process, and your dad's trying to figure out what he's going to do?
I knew a little bit about it before I came on the visit. I knew a little bit about it, but it didn't come up on my visit. They wanted it to be about me a little bit, so it happened all after my visit. But it played in a factor definitely. Once I seen that wall of all the players, once I walked in Rupp, it was a done deal. And just always wanted to play for a coach like Coach Pope. The way he plays, with how fast he plays, the shots I can take, the shots that everybody can take I love it. I'm loving everything about it, the way he coaches, and just the assistant coaches too, especially having my dad by my side is a little bit. He's a little bit of an advantage, I could say, but he's just been great playing for Pope.
What was his message in terms of the role and what Pope's vision for you year one, saying, hey, we backup point guard's kind of been a big issue for us over the last couple of years. Can you fill that for us?
The best answer I can give, he told me on my visits, I got to go get it, go get everything. That's all it is, and I've been doing that. I've been in here 3, 4, worked out 3, 4, 5, 2 times. Just a day, so it's just like, I'm just gotta go get it. I gotta go take a spot, or I gotta go put in the work. I gotta go extra reps in practice. Just gotta go get my spot. Gotta go get what I earn, and I know that, and I'm taking that, and I'm taking every advice he can give me.
Is Mo harder on you being dad, or is he softer on you being dad now that the coaching dynamic is there?
He said it multiple times. He said he coaches me like I'm a player, coaching me like I'm a son, but he also his whole life he's been a dad like he's a coach, and he's been a dad like he's a regular dad to me my whole life.
We've already kind of heard about your dad on the recruiting trail. How would you describe him as a recruiter? What will recruits hear from him, and what makes him a good recruiter?
He's going to tell you exactly what he knows, how to be in tune with the age, I don't got the word, but just like the age of the players are and what they like. He knows what they like. He knows how to reach them. He knows they like to play the game. He knows that what we do. He understands us. Yes, he's really good at that, and he already knows the players a lot already. Already been in the AAU field, watching me and my brothers, so he already knows them a little bit. So in a little bit, I already knew Ryan a little bit, so that played into it a little bit, and my dad. So that played into it, but I think my dad is really good at what he does. He's been the closer a little bit.
You posted that on your Instagram story, right? The closer?
Yeah.
What do you make of the nickname that he's kind of gotten with some of these kids?
It's just everything he's worked for. I'll say that. He's working hard. I know he's working hard. I see it daily. And I'm just saying, like, he's definitely doing his job and he's doing it right.
How involved, how integral has he been in your own development as a basketball player on the court over the years? Just how I know some dads maybe in that role maybe want to step back a little bit, let your other coaches take over, but what has he done for you there?
He's stepping back a little bit, letting my coaches do what coaches do, but he's also being my dad. He working me out as far as that. He's never really been doing that. But like in high school or since I got here, I worked out with him once. But that's always been my brother. My brother's always working me out.
What can you tell us about Milan?
Millie, that's my guy a little bit. He's a competitor also. I'll say that very much. He's a little different from what I thought, but that's definitely my guy. I'll say he's a very laid back person. He's also easy to connect with a little bit. I can talk to him a little bit, but he's just a really good guy to be around.
What about him as a shooter?
Oh, he can shoot that ball. He can shoot that ball. I shot with him. I want to say it was not last night. It was 2 nights ago. I shot with him a little bit, and just being able to shoot him and see how a pro shoots the ball, and working out with him a little bit, how they operate. Him and Mally, just how a pro and people that's been in the draft, how they work out, how hard they work out, just how they move. You know, just the way, what times they get in the gym in the morning, what times they get in the night, how they do, how vocal they are, how they lead. It's just, and they've been doing a phenomenal job. And so have my vets. I give Zoom a little bit about it. He's been a good vet to me a little bit.
Yeah, how much are you kind of relying on Zoom and Alex, obviously 2 lead guards that have experience at the college level? What are you trying to learn from them or take from them, or just kind of maybe watching and them leading by example?
My biggest thing is watching see how they carry themselves and see how hard they work, and just the way they lead. Zoom's definitely a goofy guy, definitely the funniest on the team. He'll get out there a little bit. Alex, he's kind of laid back. He knows when to be Alex and knows when to calm down a little bit. So, and just seeing how hard they work, that's the biggest thing for me. Just seeing how hard they work.
This team is so long. Talk about how you all can use that to your advantage. What are you all doing? Maybe that Kentucky fans want to know about. This team is the length of this team is so long. How's that going to help?
It's going to help a lot. Coach said today that when the mid guy or just whenever he rotates, you got to use your length. Everybody's long, everybody's big, and that's our biggest thing in this roster is just the length. And with Zoom being 6'6", it's a little bit of his length. It works a little bit. His body, he's big. He's a big guard a little bit too. So just he has to use that length. Alex being 6'5", and just being that mid guy, and everybody has to use their length, and we're pushing the ball, so it works a lot. And then the transition defense is really going to be good with length.
Mason, when you committed to Kentucky, it was kind of very early in building this roster. What did you kind of know of what Mark Pope was trying to put together here, and what was kind of your reaction seeing it all kind of come together as more and more names started committing with you?
Seeing it all come together, they wasn't really connecting with me on that part. I was letting them do their job, and they were letting me be a player. So from that part, I didn't really know how the team was going to come together, but it definitely came together a really good team. From what he was telling me, he told me how he wanted to play, and I was fast. Wants to shoot the ball, wants to get in the paint, and he also told me just be me. Doesn't tell me you come here to pass the ball, you come here to shoot the ball, you come here to beat Mason Williams.
What is that? Can you kind of describe your game for folks who haven't seen you kind of grow up and come up through the high school ranks?
I'll describe my game as definitely, I would say I can't push the ball. I'm going to get a rebound. I want to play fast. I want to play kick head. My shot's gotten way better. I shot the ball pretty well last year, but I've been working on my shot a lot, so I would say I can shoot it. I like to get in the paint. I love to get in the paint, working on my floater. I want to shoot more floaters this year. So to expect me shooting a lot of floaters, getting in the paint, and I like to kick it out once I get in the paint.
We talked about kind of Pope telling you, go get it, go earn it. What are your personal expectations, though, for your freshman season? Do you have any at this point?
My personal expectations, I want to be the hardest worker to ever come to Kentucky. That's it. And then if I achieve that goal, there's a lot more to come with it.
What would you tell the 13, 14, 15-year-old version of you, I'm at Kentucky entering my freshman year, playing for the winningest tradition in the history?
I would tell him love it sooner. It took me till I was like 15, 16 to love the game. But I would say if I'm here loving it at that age, what would I be? Even if I'm at Kentucky, what would I be if I was loving it then? Like, I work hard now, but if I was working hard then, I mean, who knows where I could be, but at the same time, I mean, just keep going. I'll tell them keep going.
What do you
So just being able to talk to those guys and know that, we got, a good group coming back is, very important for all of us to come back.
When you came to Lexington last year, obviously you made a commitment to redshirt with Kentucky. Also, you had some injury concerns as well. Just going into this year where you're not redshirting anymore, what is it that you're hoping to really prove this year?
Just being able to be as physical and, of leader. So I've played, college basketball for a good amount of years now, and, last year I was able to, see an outside point of view and just being able to, help the new guys and stuff like that. So we, help win whatever I can.
How did you physically develop over that? Like, what was the learning process from a redshirt?
It was really good. So I took mainly, I took a great year in the, weight room. That was the main thing for me. Last 2 years I played at 205, now 240. So that's, a big difference for me. And I can see that, going against Malachi and dudes that are bigger and stuff like that, going against those guys that played in the SEC before, being able to bang against those guys, it was really important. And then just stuff like that, going against them in practice every single day. Those guys are, y'all saw what they did last year. I mean, they're very impactful players and great players. They're going to lead us. So being able to go against them every single day is what, we're going to see every single day in the SEC.
You had a reputation for being a stretch five in your previous style growing up in high school. Do you like that being identified as that? Or do you want to be more than that?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to be more than that, but, I'm not going to complain about being called a stretch five. That's, a very good aspect of my game, being able to shoot it and just let it fly. So just being able to, every time I get the ball and I'm open, I got to make sure, keep that same confidence coming from, a smaller place, to just let them fly and rub. So that's going to be very important for me.
How many would you like to, shoot? What is there a number that you, is there a percentage that you kind of, have in your mind that you'd like to hit this year?
Me and Pova talked about a percentage. He wants me a little over 33, and I said, I don't know if I'm going to be happy with that. I said, I got to be 40. He said, he'll be happy at 33. I was like, I gotta make sure I'm still over a career 40, so that's definitely the goal for me this year.
What in terms of role, what are you expecting going into this year, knowing you do have the red shirt behind you, knowing you are an experienced college basketball player?
Just being able to impact the game as much as possible. We're gonna have guys like Malachi Moreno and stuff like that coming off the start, and so being able to not have a drop off when those guys come off, and just being able to give us great energy and much physicality for as long as possible they need. It's gonna be a great thing for me, and that's what I'm looking forward to do.
How important of a point was that after last year? When you're building this roster, saying we need depth, we need to make sure we can keep that consistency throughout the game, especially if someone were to go down.
I mean, years past, we haven't been a little snake bit about injuries and stuff like that. So that was definitely, very important for Pope to, bring in a lot of guys, being able to impact. All of us have a, good resume in Division I basketball. So just having many guys, if somebody goes down a game or something like that, being able to, not see a drop off.
How hard was it to kind of ignore the whispers that always come every offseason of this school can offer me X number of dollars or minutes or this role or whatever, and say, no, this is where I need to be?
It wasn't that important to me. Everybody kind of hears those, things and stuff like that. I just kind of shut my phone off and just didn't listen to any of that. This is where I wanted to be. This is where I came, a couple of years ago, and this is my hometown. So I just want to, put that jersey on for the first time, and it don't matter. Somebody could have offered me a lot of money, and I was not going to turn that down and be able to put that jersey on.
Has it lived up to the hype your first year and change here?
Oh, for sure. No, just being able to, see everybody in Rupp Arena and how much these fans show up for us, and they stay outside the lodge, want autographs everywhere we go. They want pictures and autographs, and how happy they are to see us every single day is very important. And I think it's been awesome so far. So I can't wait to hit my first shots in Rupp Arena and finally hit that crowd.
How would you describe the three-man rotation? You Frank and Malachi, and just kind of how you got your skills complement each other.
Yeah.
What you guys do differently from each other?
I feel like we all do a little bit, things a little bit different. I think Frank and Malachi are a little bit more similar, and me and Malachi are similar in some things too. So I think me and Malachi pass the ball at a great level. I think Frank's gonna come, when we see him, he's gonna be able to do that at a great job. probably haven't seen that at Washington. He was more of like probably a roller and 5-man. So us being able to teach him and him being able to teach us, he's an excellent shot blocker. And so I feel like that comes with, it comes with length, and it also comes with timing. And he's played college basketball and played a lot of basketball. So his timing and stuff like that, he knows when to jump and knows when to go. So he's going to be able to help us, and we're going to be able to help him. So I feel like we're going to bounce off each other and be a great little 3-man rotation.
There's a lot of talk about Malachi being a lottery pick this time next year. You will have an impact on that with both in practice and just in terms of depth and all that. What has to go right for him to become a lottery pick? Like, what is the vision for him over the next year or so? He's in the green room this time next year.
He's going to be in the green room next year. I'm going to say that now. He's very, very focused kid, and so I feel like that's going to be the most important thing for him is being able to shut all the noise out like he did last year. I feel like he did a great job for that. He was a freshman last year that was put in a role that maybe I don't know if he thought he was going to do that. And so he was put into that great role as a freshman, and he's expected to do that this year. So him being able to shut out all the noise. The NBA stuff will come later. That's going to happen for him. No matter what happens, he's going to play in the NBA. So being able to shut out the noise and live in the moment, I feel like it's going to be very important for him, and just being able to the rest of us being able to help him know that. So he's got to impact us in a great way, and just being able to knock out the noise and just put his head down and keep working, which he'll do.
With Zoom and Alex, just have they lived up to the hype? Like
for sure.
All off season, they were the big talking points of the creators that pope every media opportunity. How have they lived up to the hype?
I feel like Zoom has lived up to the hype in a lot of ways. He's been a very vocal leader. I feel like that's the thing, and he's been a great point guard for us. I feel like your point guard's got to be a very vocal guy, and so I kind of gave a story earlier. So he's been very vocal on his wins. He's very vocal on his losses. He lost today and he wanted to keep playing, and then Alex is just how quick he is. That's one of the quickest dudes I've seen, and he just gets downhill and just makes all the right plays. So them playing together, it's gonna be very fun for the rest of us, because they're able to make plays and get past everybody that's in front of them. And so us being able to stay ready and be ready for when they throw us a dime is going to be very important. I feel like a lot of us haven't been ready for it a little bit yet, so I feel like that's going to be something that we're going to grow on, and then they're going to be able to play off so great of each other.
Last year at this time, obviously you're from Lexington, this area, but you were one of the newcomers in the team.
Yeah.
This year there's a bunch of other newcomers. You're one of the returners. How's your dynamic kind of been, as those new guys are coming in and kind of helping them to get used to what to expect here, how to, talk to their coaches, how to get used to this program?
Yeah, so I feel like this has been we got a great little full group coming back, and so us being able to help lead them has been very important. Me, Braden, Malachi, and Trent have been great so far at being able to try to teach them the ways of Kentucky. Like put all the past all the previous schools. This is Kentucky now, and so we've been been the front of the lines helping try to teach them all the things we do, and then they've come along fast. They're very quick learners, and so I think that's very important. That Pope's talks about that a lot, being able to be a quick learner, and they've been great at it. And so we've been able to get a lot of things in during practice that we might have not gotten in years past because how fast they've been learning through other things.
Mason said that Usman has been the guy who surprised everybody.
Yeah.
Said that his ability to shoot the ball. He even said he thinks he leads everybody in shooting threes right now. Has he been a guy that's jumped off the page for you?
Yeah. I think we all saw his highlights. Him and everybody else has really kind of jumped off the page. Being able to see those in person have been a little bit different than just seeing highlights. But Usman's been great. He's been able to really shoot the ball. He's very long. He's been picking up stuff really fast. So I feel like that's very important for new guys for sure.
Milan how is the vision of the best shooter in the world? How has that been seeing?
Yeah, he doesn't miss. I would love to be on his team every day in practice because he makes my job very easy. So today he was on my team and he made my job very easy. I just threw him the ball and it went in. So I feel like that's he's gonna be great for us. He's gonna be able to impact it in a lot of ways. Not just scoring, but also the fact that he's out there. Just him being out there is gonna be able to help a lot of us. Just get a lot more, relaxed coverages and stuff like that because everybody's gonna be so focused on him. I remember last year we were kind of we were all sitting in the room. We were like, how do we guard that man? He's shooting 50%. We were like, oh well, he shot 50%. And it seems like nobody's done it great. So I feel like everybody else is going to be in the room scrambling trying to figure out how to guard him. So I feel like that's going to be very impactful for the rest of us. To get open shots and get he's going to be able to impact us in a lot of ways.
How different is for you personally this year compared to last year?
Just being able to be more vocal. Last year I was a newer guy, and so returners were able to help teach me the ways. So that's kind of been very important for me to try to teach new guys the ways and stuff, how we do stuff here. Because it may be different from the previous stops.
You know, when you're talking about Milan, how has that been for you returning guys that faced him last year
Yeah.
in the tournament? Has there been any, you know, jokes with him or kind of talking about that at all?
Yeah, there's been a little chatter. You know, we've shown some clips of, you know, like how we want to play, and I feel like all those clips we were winning, and he's been, you know, looking at us like, like we saw the score, and so he's been, you know, he's been talking a little bit, you know, but you know, he's so happy to be here and stuff like that. He's ready to put on that jersey and start making those baskets for us. So yeah.
One of the biggest changes in the offseason is Mark Pope has a beard now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's rocking it. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he should keep it. I don't know if he's going to keep it for the first game, but I think that might be his wife's decision. You know, we won't know until we know. But I think he's doing good with it. I think it's a new look, fresh look, and I think he should go with it. But you know, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if he'll keep it. I think I like it. What does does media like it?
He's got to keep it.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to keep it.
He's been on a little roll. Get some recruiting wins. I feel like he's got to rock.
Yeah, it's a good start. You know, I feel like, you know, when you do something fresh, do something new, and it's working, you gotta stick with it. So that's, you know, that's my vote. But you know, who knows what he'll do?
How
You gotta go out one?
I can't grow out one. It's so bad. I go like ginger. I don't know how that happens, but like I get like a ginger beard and it's like patchy and it's just not good. I think my mom would kill me.
how full does Pope need to get? Like how is there?
I kind of like it right now, but like I feel like if he could go Santa Claus beard, I don't know if he can, but if he can, I feel like that should totally be the look.
Yeah.
I feel like that like. Could you imagine like Coach Mark Pope like coming in a you know, y'all don't like all the media's not there. He shows up first day for Big Blue Madness and like a big white beard. I feel like that.
Like he's coming down a chimney,
or
like
something.
Like a Santa thing.
I mean,
I feel like we can.
I mean, I think you have $1 million idea there. So I might have to pitch that to the next one. But I feel like, yeah, I kind of like that now. I like that idea. I thought it was good where it is, but I think like he's got to continue to grow that out.
Who's the last coach to have a beard? At Kentucky.
That's I don't know.
I don't think there has been, right?
I mean, they wanted to hire PJ
Carlissimo, yeah.
That wouldn't have been a good one.
But yeah.
If you've been asked about the lodge, I apologize, but just talk about getting everybody together, you know, and living in the lodge and forcing you guys to get to know each other.
Yeah, I think that's been very important. You know, I feel like it's not been forced. It's kind of been like, you know, we all get to hang out with each other now, and all the new guys have loved it so far, and we're all knocking each other's rooms, and we all know where each other are, whether it's good or bad. And so I feel like everybody's just been barging into people's rooms no matter what, and then we've all been, you know, being able to get to know each other, and we all know where we are, you know. So like, you know, being able to go get food, go do different stuff. We know, like, we don't gotta text people. It's just knock on your door, like we're going. And no, nobody's had a problem with it. And it's been very important to like get to know each other off the court, because I feel like that impacts, you know, winning a lot on the court.
I was going to ask, how does that translate over to basketball when you're out doing stuff together?
I feel like that's very important. You know, being able to, you know, get to know your teammates is very important, because it's a long season. So you don't want to you want to know more than just basketball, because these become your brothers for life. And so being able to, you know each other more off the court, you know, it helps you build confidence and stuff like that, to like know your teammates with you, and we've been able to like know each other's stories and stuff like that. So it's been very interesting.
Thanks, man.